The Israel-Iran war has triggered demonstrations across the globe, with many condemning Israel's preemptive strikes on Iran. This, as the U.S. continues to weigh its direct involvement in the Israeli operation against Iran. In Tehran, people assembled for a rally against Israel, burning Israeli and American flags and chanting anti-Israel slogans.
Never. For a lifetime we declared, and our brave commanders who were martyred declared that we will destroy Israel. Now the ball is in our court. We will not retreat. We are here.
In Lebanon's Beirut and its southern suburbs, demonstrators gathered near Friday prayers, rallying in support with Iran. Demonstrators held Iranian, Lebanese and Hezbollah flags as they chanted slogans against Israel and the United States of America.
So we came here in solidarity with Iranians to stand against the threats against him, to ask for the end of the aggression on Iran and show our solidarity.
In the U.S., meanwhile, anti-war demonstrators gathered outside the White House to demonstrate the latest exchange of missile strikes between Iran and Israel. Dozens of demonstrators waved Palestinian and Iranian flags, chanted slogans and held placards as well in support with Iran in the ongoing conflict. They rather demanded a complete end to U.S. and Israeli military actions in West Asia.
Today, we convene because the terror of the Zionist entity has spread beyond the borders of the Palestinian homeland. Shame. And the Zionist entity has put the people of Iran under its sights to spread its terror beyond the Palestinian homeland once again.
I don't want war in Iran, actually. It's my country. I don't want it to be destroyed. Because like Benjamin Netanyahu is thinking we are having the nuclear weapon. It's like no fact based on that. He's just bombing in Iran without any facts.
Tensions flared when a bunch of counter-demonstrators waved Israeli flags and got into a face-off with the anti-war groups. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, a group of demonstrators gathered to demonstrate against potential U.S. involvement in the Israel-Iran war.
I'm here because a few days ago, Israel attacked Iran, and Iran is my motherland. I have families there, my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law, and all my friends live there. And I came here to speak up, to say to our president, we don't need war. I'm here as an American person, and I love America, but I don't want war. I need peace.
Demonstrators staged a demonstration in Malaysian capital Kuala Lumpur against America's support for Israel during the war against Hamas in Gaza and its attacks on Iran. They were carrying Iranian and Palestinian flags and posters. They marched to the U.S. Embassy calling for arrest of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
If this becomes World War III or not depends on America's reaction. Although America says they won't join the war, we can see there are some sort of efforts to help Israel, and it's some kind of a conspiracy.
Members of Canada's Iranian community gathered outside the Toronto City Hall to call for a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. And speaking to the press, the demonstrators said that they advocate for peace to be restored in Iran and the region as a whole. Many also fear for their friends and family living there.
The internet is on and off, so as much as we get to talk to them, I talk to them, they're all desperately stuck. Both my parents are stuck in Tehran. They don't have gas to leave. My dad doesn't have water right now. There are bombardments around them. And as much as they've said that they're not hitting civilian targets, civilians are being hit. Unfortunately, what happens during war is that the truth starts getting a bit lost. So now we just want people to know that the Iranian people don't want this war. Our government, unfortunately, has also sparked this war. So as much as we're opposed to our government, we want to shed light that the people of Iran want peace. We just want to live in peace and freedom.
Well, earlier this week, Iraqis gathered in Baghdad to demonstrate against ongoing Israeli strikes on Iran. The demonstration was attended by supporters of the Iraqi Shiite group, following Israel's largest ever aerial assault last week, targeting Iranian commanders, nuclear scientists, military installations, and suspected nuclear sites.
God willing, we are in one trench, and we say that in these strikes carried out by the brutal Zionist entity, it thinks that it will weaken the axis of resistance. We say the exact opposite. The assassination of the leaders will increase our resolve and insistence on continuing on this path. God willing, we will be in one trench.
Assisted dying, a sensitive and contentious topic, has kicked a political storm of sorts in the United Kingdom. And after hours of debating whether to allow assisted dying for terminally ill people or not, Britain's Parliament has finally voted to legalize assisted dying, in other words, euthanasia. On Friday, 314 lawmakers voted in favour of the assisted dying bill, with 291 against the bill, thus clearing the biggest parliamentary hurdle. The law, termed as the terminally ill adults' end of life, would give mentally competent terminally ill adults in England and Wales with 6 months or less left to live the right to choose to end their lives with medical help. With this, Britain also joins Australia, Canada, and other countries, as well as some US states, in permitting euthanasia. Meanwhile, demonstrations broke out both for and against this legislation outside the UK Parliament, as the MPs debated if this law could be brought to life, hours before the final voting took place.
That there are different views within the public, and we have to take on board the concerns of vulnerable groups, and that's why the safeguards are so important. But I would also say that there is no one more vulnerable than someone who is dying.
Because there is no doubt that if this bill is passed in its current form, people will lose their lives who do not need to, and they will be amongst the most vulnerable and marginalised in our society.
While supporters of the law believe that this move could provide dignity and compassion to those suffering, opponents say that it could be misused as a coercion tactic, urging those vulnerable or may not in a position to make judgments to end their lives. For now, the bill proceeds to Britain's upper chamber, the House of Lords, where it will undergo months of scrutiny and will be reviewed for amendments required, if any, before being finalised into a concrete law in the future. Well, in other news, the Thai Prime Minister is facing growing calls to resign after just 10 months in power. But why? Because of her leaked phone call with former Cambodian leader Hun Sen in the midst of the border row between the two countries. In the phone call, which Hun Sen recorded and shared with about 80 people, including members of his party's standing committee, Shinawatra, the Thailand Prime Minister, is heard referring to her own Second Army Region commander as an opponent. Prime Minister Shinawatra in the call appeared to blame her own country's military for escalating border tensions with Cambodia. She allegedly used a notably conciliatory tone, referring to Cambodia's Hun Sen as uncle. The conversation followed an armed clash on May 28th in a disputed stretch of no man's land along the border, a zone claimed by both the nations. The clash resulted in the death of a Cambodian soldier, and the audio was leaked, like I mentioned, by Hun Sen himself, who he said is to have shared with the other lawmakers in Cambodia. The leak sparked outrage among Thai nationalists. Shinawatra has now apologized for the call. She has said that the call was made from her personal phone and had no idea that it was being recorded or that it would be made public. She insisted her government remains fully committed to supporting the Thai military, and the phone call was a negotiation technique. That's what Shinawatra has said. She also further accused Hun Sen of acting in bad faith.
I'll just refrain from any more private conversations with Hun Sen, since there is now an issue of trust.
The controversy has also led to the Bahu Janata Party, Shinawatra's largest coalition partner, quitting the government, leading to the political crisis in Thailand to deepen further. Governments from around the world are evacuating thousands of their nationals caught up in the rapidly spiraling Israel-Iran war, organizing buses and planes and, in some cases, assisting people crossing borders on foot. European countries have already repatriated hundreds of their citizens from Israel. The Czech Republic and Slovakia have also taken 181 people home on government planes. Well, Germany evacuated its people through Jordan, while Poland said that the first of its citizens arrived back on June 18th. Greece said it had repatriated around 105 of its citizens, plus several foreign nationals, through Egypt, while a private plane with 148 people landed in the Bulgarian capital earlier this week as well. The U.S. ambassador to Israel announced plans for evacuating Americans by air and sea. Ambassador Mike Huckabee posted on social media that the embassy was working on evacuation flights and cruise ship departures for Americans wanting to leave Israel. Meanwhile, China has evacuated more than 1,600 citizens from Iran and several hundred more from Israel. And speaking about Australia, the country has started evacuating around 1,500 citizens from Iran and more than 1,200 from Israel. Jakarta's foreign minister said that Indonesia is preparing to evacuate around 380 of its citizens currently in Iran by land, and at least 11 Indonesians in Israel have also been asked to leave. Vietnam, which has more than 700 citizens in Israel and dozens in Iran, said it was working to ensure their safety as the war continues between Iran and Israel.